The corporate matrix loves a loyal employee. Why? Because institutional loyalty is the single cheapest resource an organization can ever cut. Human resources and legacy managers have engineered a highly manipulative emotional cartel using phrases like "we are a family" and "corporate loyalty" to successfully pacify your ambition and underpay your true market potential. But let's drop the sentimental garbage and face the cold, transactional math of reality. Corporations look at your dedication as a cheap liability, not a premium asset. The moment a budget tightening occurs or a superior automation tool lands on a spreadsheet, your years of sacrifice are instantly erased with a single, unceremonious email. If you are investing your prime execution years into institutional devotion instead of expanding your personal leverage, you are actively committing financial suicide. Here is why staying loyal is keeping you broke. Modern networking and institutional loyalty operate as a weaponized psychological cartel designed to extract premium labor at a severe financial discount. When an organization successfully convinces you that your relationship with them is emotional rather than purely transactional, they effectively neutralize your ability to negotiate your true market value. You begin to view working late, accepting delayed promotions, and absorbing systemic stress as acts of familial devotion rather than what they truly are: uncompensated capital extraction. This artificial emotional bond creates a deep psychological debt, forcing you to compromise your economic self-interest to maintain institutional harmony. By buying into this manufactured sentimentality, you willingly hand over your highest energy years to an entity that measures your worth solely through cold performance metrics on a spreadsheet, setting yourself up for an invisible trap where your unrewarded devotion is quietly taxed every single day. This emotional taxation manifests directly as a tenure tax, freezing your financial trajectory through the stagnant mathematics of long-term retention. While human resources departments publicly celebrate loyalty milestones with cheap plastic trophies and sterile certificates, the internal accounting systems are programmed to cap your annual salary adjustments at standard, sub-inflationary percentages. A loyal employee's compensation path operates on a predictable, linear curve that can never outpace the compounding cost of living or the true velocity of the outside market. The institutional system intentionally relies on your psychological inertia, betting that your fear of change will keep you compliant on a suboptimal wage scale. By remaining anchored to a single corporate entity for years, you are effectively subsidizing their profit margins with your lost compounding equity, ignoring the raw economic reality that the system is engineered to reward the threat of departure, never the compliance of prolonged stay. Breaking out of this linear stagnation requires executing an asymmetric pivot, where ruthless, strategic job hopping becomes the only true mechanism for dictating your real market value. The external marketplace does not respect the internal hierarchy of your current firm. It only respects the acute pain points it needs solved immediately. When you transition from a submissive, long-term hostage to an aggressive lateral mover, you force competing organizations to bid for your specialized leverage at premium, updated market rates. Statistics across every major industry consistently demonstrate that professionals who strategically jump ship every 24 months achieve a compounding salary trajectory that is 3 to 4 times higher than those who remain loyal to a single institution. This lateral velocity strips away the internal political bottlenecks, forcing the market to price your talent based on your peak capability rather than your arbitrary historical tenure within a rigid, slow-moving corporate pipeline. This aggressive lateral movement completely shatters the myth of indispensability, exposing the cold replacement reality that defines every layer of the corporate ecosystem. No matter how many midnight oil hours you burned or how many critical projects you single-handedly rescued, the corporate machine is designed to function seamlessly without you. Your seat will be posted on a job board before your obituary is even written, and your multi-year legacy will be reduced to an automated offboarding checklist within 48 hours. The illusion that the firm cannot survive without your unique dedication is a dangerous psychological pacifier used to keep you from testing your actual worth in the open market. Accepting this brutal truth isn't cynical. It is a vital act of self-preservation that instantly breaks your emotional dependency, freeing you from the irrational fear of abandonment that keeps millions of professionals paralyzed in low-yield positions. Yet even when professionals recognize this cold replacement reality, they frequently remain paralyzed by the golden handcuff sedative, a highly calculated trap of superficial corporate comfort designed to completely neutralize your execution urgency. The matrix doesn't always control you through raw pressure. More often, it sedates you using mid-tier luxury, comfortable routines, and predictable health packages that make the open market feel unnecessarily terrifying. These minor, consistent benefits act as a psychological anesthesia, convincing you that a golden cage is preferable to the unpredictable wild of economic freedom. You trade your limitless vertical potential for a guaranteed, medicated baseline of security, slowly allowing your sharpest competitive edges to dull in the warmth of institutional complacency. This comfort trap is an elegant mechanism of control. It makes you just wealthy enough to stay compliant, but never independent enough to challenge the gatekeepers or build sovereign equity. Breaking this sedative cycle demands a radical shift in perspective, recognizing that true generational wealth cannot be built on a sterile, automated payroll designed to keep you just comfortable enough to never quit, but just broke enough to need your next paycheck. To permanently smash these golden handcuffs, you must undergo the final professional evolution and become a sovereign mercenary, completely transitioning from an institutional hostage into an absolute economic force. A mercenary possesses no sentimental attachments to corporate branding, hollow company flags, or arbitrary organizational hierarchies. They view the entire marketplace as a fluid landscape of high-value targets and strategic objectives. You no longer offer your life to a firm. You lease your highly specialized execution power to the highest bidder, strictly on a transactional basis, while maintaining absolute ownership of your intellectual capital and temporal sovereignty. This mental shift alters every interaction you have with the matrix. You stop asking for career development and start commanding market dominance. While the compliant masses spend their peak biological years trading their freedom for the false promise of long-term corporate protection, the sovereign mercenary moves through the economy with lethal efficiency, extracting maximum capital, seizing high-leverage assets, and anchoring their survival entirely to their own unassailable execution velocity. True financial freedom is never granted by a benevolent corporate family. It is aggressively corrected from the system by independent actors who realize that loyalty is a liability and that absolute self-reliance is the only real security in a volatile world. By transforming your talent into an autonomous, high-status enterprise, you permanently elevate your status above the systemic noise, forcing the corporate machine to bend to your terms rather than begging for a seat at their table.